Hey gamers, it's been a minute since I've done a video and I apologize for that, but I thought it was important enough to show you what I've created here. See, I've created a character quest journal, and it is currently up on Drive-Thru RPG. And so I wanted to give you a little view of it here. The book I created for my players one Christmas, and I said, look, these guys are always forgetting. Have you had this happen? They're always forgetting about key characters or plot points or what treasure they have, all that kind of stuff. And I said, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to go ahead and write a journal for them, and it was specific to Strange Aeons from Pathfinder First Edition. But I said, I'm going to make you guys another one, a generic one that you can use with any game that you want, any system. And so, but I wanted this book also to be special. I wanted to be something that wasn't just a journal, but actually helped you develop your character. So at the very beginning of the book, it's meant to be something you keep on your shelf, right? You can put in here the people that you actually played with. You can actually answer some questions that will give your character some backstory that you can fill in that. And, when the time comes, the DM can ask you something, ask you a question. If things like, if you keep this book too long, it will. So this actually is in story. You can actually create this to be an in-story prop that could be given by, the Pathfinder Society, if that's what you want to do, or maybe it was given by a family member or something like that. But there's an actual journal they carry with them as part of an association or part of a society or whatever it may be. But things like if you keep this book too long, it will. Maybe this book has special magical powers, or it's going to return to you in some way. But the book itself could be a great prop for the player to be able to flesh out his character a little bit more and come up with some really fun things. Now, also at the very beginning, it gives you some ideas about things like prepping your adventure. My pre-adventure ritual. Something maybe before your character goes on an adventure. What do they do? My post adventure ritual could be. What do they do after the adventure? And then finally, any organizations that they may be involved in. Now, on to the actual journal, and it has several things here. It's got the journal session number. It's also got the date. It's got the, NPCs that you might run into, people that you run into. It's, where you can put the names and, of the foes that you meet. You can put the attack. What was that like? What did special abilities they do? Things like that. So later on, when they can do knowledge checks or things like that, they say, hey, look, I remember this thing. I ran into this thing. Maybe special abilities that the foe had, and that could be a monster or that could be an actual person that they ran into. Some of the other features they have here is just a little treasure and trinkets that they find, right? They can put in there whatever magic items they found during that particular session, or it could be an artifact, or it could be any of those things. But they can put all their little notes right there for that particular session. And the last part is they just have some notes right here on the bottom. So there are 52 sessions in here. So you have a year's worth, whether you're doing one-shots or whether you're just doing maybe a year-long campaign, something like that. This is currently in PDF form, so you can pick it up on drivethrurpg.com. It comes with the cover artwork, which I'm going to offer a few different covers for that as well. And then the last part, let me just show you that. It does ask some questions in the back here. Things I will never again, things like that. When you get to the back here, maybe you've run a campaign and it's got a lot of questions that the character can answer, like, I will never again do something. Maybe they remember some moment. They say, I'll never do that again. And it has a bunch of those questions there that they could actually write in as they go. They don't have to wait till the end of the book. They could play a session and say, well, I'm never going to do that again. They already know that that's not going to happen anymore. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be eaten by a gelatinous cube, or I don't want to face that foe again, whatever it may be. And then lastly, it talks about I wrote in there that the journey has come to an end. And here's, what am I going to do after this adventure? What are my plans after all this adventuring? And so this is really meant not only just for for the characters to be able to use in game to remember things, but it's also a great little keepsake to remember those things about all those great adventures that you have with your players. So I would love for you to go check it out. It's at drivethroughrpg.com. There's a PDF there. I believe it's only $4.99, so you can make as many copies as you want. You can take this to your print store, by the way, and I made this at my local print store. I think it cost me $4 to do that at my local print. And once again, amounts may vary. I'll say it between $4 and $7. But I also, when they initially made this for me, they actually made me a larger one. And this here is like, maybe, these are like large print books. So if your site maybe not so good, you can have it done like that and say, okay, I'm going to do it that way. And I think this was between maybe $8 and $12 it was done. So it's not super expensive to do. So, if you are looking for your players, if you're a DM and say, look, I want my players to have something cool. I want them to have something that they can remember. I want them to have something to remember the times that we have together and the people they played with. Then I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and grab these Character Quest journals. I think they're just a wonderful gift. Maybe you celebrate a year's worth of play or Christmas time, whatever that is. And then if you're a player, of course, listen, nobody else has to have this, but you are going to bring this to the table and say, look, I'm going to bring this to the table and keep the notes for the entire group maybe. And you'll be that chronicler of your adventures. So whichever you do, I just think it's just a cool tool. I hope that you'll check it out and pick it up over on drivethroughrpg.com. So guys, thanks for watching, and I would love your comments down in the comments below. So feel free, tell me, do you have a journal? Would you like to use a journal? I would love just to hear your feedback on it. So let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the comments. Thanks.